Welcome, everyone. Lovely to be with you. Just a reminder that this meeting, we will start with a brief guided meditation and followed by questions. So if you can sit comfortably and you're welcome to close your eyes or turn your gaze inward. And welcome. It's an open, welcoming, and effortless, welcoming. Welcoming whatever appears to you. Without interfering, without trying to fix anything. Simply allow yourself to be and just sink into being, sink into presence. Sort of a deep resting, a deep restfulness. The breath becomes quieter, gentler. The mind is slowly relaxing. The body becoming more and more transparent, sort of like it's dissolving in presence. A presence without any borders, without a personal center. Effortless. Peaceful. There is no goal we are trying to achieve. Not trying to reach any state. All states are temporary. But presence, this awareness, is not in time. So in this moment of presence, there is no past, no personal story. Nothing to achieve in the future. It's a celebration of being. Being, awareness is always present, aware of hearing these words effortlessly, and aware that it is aware. I am, and I know that I am. Somehow there is something unmovable, unshakable about that. This amness, this beingness, which you know you are, is not a female or male, is not a son or a daughter. It is this formless awareness which is often overlooked. One could say that it often overlooks itself. As it is engaging in thoughts and activities. It takes on the form of thoughts and activities. And this formless awareness is the reality which right now effortlessly hears these words. Effortlessly notices the gentle breath, this soft movement of the body, the heartbeat, the warmth of the body, the sunlight shining through. You are this effortless awareness. Takes on the form of breath, a heartbeat, takes on the form of a thought, takes on the form of a sensation, like the sensation of your back against the chair or the couch. Seems that consciousness likes to experience itself as sensations, thoughts, perceptions, memories. It creates the human experience to experience this conversation, experience the body, experience thoughts, experience sounds. But there is nothing at stake when it comes to this invisible awareness, which you are. Nothing at stake. In this creation, you take care of the body, the health of the body, the safety and the well-being of the body as best you can. You take care of your family as best you can, of your friends, of your tribe, of the world around you. It is part of the universal design. In religious terms, we would say it's part of God's creation, God's game, God's will, God's freedom. But there is nothing at stake. You take care of the body, mind, but you don't need to identify yourself with the body, mind, or you don't need to identify yourself with a religion, a nation, a family, or a tribe. Is that possible? Can you take very good care of your car, of your house, without identifying yourself with your car, with your belongings? You can take care of your parents, your kids, love them, take care of them the best you can, but can you be free of identification? Just taking care of what appears to you, what presents itself to you the best you can, not from a place of grasping or defending, not from a place of belonging to a certain tribe, but from an open place of being, of not knowing. Because openness is love. There's no judgment in openness, in not knowing. So we can make ourselves available to this uh, divine love, this understanding about our true nature as this same aware presence, this same consciousness, and allow this understanding to permeate our mind and our body, and to release the personal story, the me story, which is appearing in our mind as real, veiling the fact that we are this transparent awareness, this borderless, invisible presence. So we are interested, profoundly and deeply interested in understanding and living this understanding and freedom. Waking up from the illusion of separation, from the me story, the me belief, so that the light can shine unobstructed, unveiled, by personal identity. And personal identification. So if you have any questions, anything that you would like to explore, you are welcome to unmute yourself or raise your hand. Hello, Michael.
Hi, Magdi.
Hello.
I missed you in Costa Rica recently. I was really sad I couldn't come and be at the retreat. So it's good to see you, though.
Good to see you too.
Yeah. Um, the synchronicity of your beautiful meditation, I love your meditations, is pretty remarkable. I've been in a practice to disidentify from body mind. And so far in my path, I don't like the word path, but in my path, I have pretty routinely experiences of not identifying with body mind. But then when my day starts, the identification returns to body mind, and where the grasping and the pushing and the controlling energies come in, um, and those I'm noticing really clearly now that when I'm in those places, there's a lot of stress and anxiety and separation and sometimes sadness. So I suppose my question would be, with that as a goal, to disidentify altogether, just to rest in being as being. Can you suggest any practice or techniques that we could use to shift, dissolve, identification form altogether?
The first technique is to ask yourself, who is this technique serving? What am I assuming myself to be in posing this question and in contemplating this question? So from its onset, the question is starting from a false assumption, which may be subtle or an unseen assumption, that I am somebody. So who is it? What is it in this moment that I am? What is it that truly is? Of course, in life, there is activity and movement. There is a certain cadence. And sometimes, yes, we are engaged, and in a way, we need to be the technician, we need to be the assistant, we need to be the manager, we need to be the artist, we need to be that role and to be completely identified in that role and functioning, with that. But it's a different matter, the question about unhappiness, the question about feeling something is off, you see. So it's the feeling of something is off has nothing to do with being engaged, in life's activity. So there's something off, something is missing, something is lacking, and is anger. This is when you have an opportunity to inquire. So these moments are gifts. Your life is going on, doing this, doing that, responding to this, going there. And then there is some upsetness, something. This is a peak moment for you. This is when God throws you a goodie. He says, here it is. It's something for you to look at. Now, what do we do in these situations? Most often, depending, on where we're at and what's happening at the moment, we may feel, oh my God, why is this happening to me? He shouldn't have done that to me. She shouldn't have done this to me. It shouldn't be this, whatever. We engage into the me activity, defending myself, justifying myself, blaming others or blaming myself, whatever. This is a routine. Okay, it's like the machine, is just ongoing. We know that. We've done that. We've been there so many times, right? We all have. But at some time, we have to sort of go a higher level. We have to sort of mature. We have to step up. To say, okay, what is going on here? I'm going to take a look. I know that I have the opportunity to blame my boss, blame my friend, blame my partner, blame what. I know that. I can do that. But for now, I'm going to take a look at. And the question is really very simple. What am I assuming myself to be? What am I in this moment? Who is it that is upset? What is the sufferer? Who is the sufferer? Okay? What is unhappiness referring to? Because then that's when you have to do your own looking, and you may notice that it's always referring to what you believe yourself to be, or what you believe the other to be, or what your thoughts about how life should be. It's mental. There is a belief structure operating, and the world is not responding to your belief structure right now. It's not operating according to your scenario. And it's not going to operate according to your scenario, because your scenario is chimeric. Your scenario is unnecessary. It's the stick in the wheels. How life should be, how your life should be, how the world should be responding to you. It's just a story. In the absence of your story, there isn't a you. In the absence of your story, there is a life. Life unfolding, meaning presence. Whatever is unfolding, right? Somebody cuts you in traffic, you slow down, you let them go. And what's available to you in these moments of incongruity, these moments of disharmony, is for you to explore, how can I experience this? How can I be with this? Not as Michael, not as this person who should not be treated this way, but as love, as being, as presence, as awareness, as consciousness, as understanding. What is there for me to understand about this? I don't know. Maybe this person has an emergency, needs to cut me off. Maybe this person had a moment of distraction, and I've had many moments of distraction. Let me not be arrogant about that. Maybe this person is new driving and it doesn't have the experience of driving, or maybe it's a person that gets nervous in certain situations. Who knows? What do I know? But I can understand that I don't know anything about what this other person is at. And I can understand that putting in toxicity into the world, into the system, just increases the level of toxicity by me swearing at this guy and, you know, banging on my dashboard. It's just putting toxicity into the universe. And you are the universe. You're not separate from the universe. The toxicity is within you. It's coming from you to you. So we have the opportunity to explore, well, how can I, in these moments, in these gifts, gifts from God, these moments, what am I assuming myself to be? And also, how can I be with this experience from a place of understanding, of wisdom, of compassion, of exploration, of vulnerability? Because it's alive, you see, what's the beauty of life, Michael. It's alive. You don't know around the corner next what's going to appear. That's life. You know, this is what's exciting. You know, we go to the casino and we play the roulette. We don't know, is it going to be number 32 that's going to come up? I put in $100 on it. You see, it's the excitement of life. But there's also the harmony of life, the enjoyment, the celebration. And these difficult moments we have in life are opportunities for us to get deeper into our understanding, stabilize our understanding, explore this situation from a different place than the traditional habitual place of me and them, me and the world. You see.
Mhm.
See.
So with persistence, have you yourself noticed that it gets easier and ultimately that becomes a default state?
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's good news.
Because consider the body mind to be just an instrument that you're just fine tuning, you know, and you're the tuner, you're the master tuner of this instrument, you see. And of course, it depends how you tune it. If you just, get angry, get jealous, get mad, get envious, you're tuning it, but in the wrong direction. You're tuning it in a disharmonious way, you see, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you explore, oh, it's no big deal, you will find that, yeah, in fact, it is no big deal. But if you explore, oh, darn, why is this happening? This is what your experience is going to be. This is what your perception is going to be. And this is what your behavior is going to come from that place. You see.
Mm-hmm.
But if you come from, oh, this well, it's no big deal. Not a big deal. Oh well, that didn't feel too good. Okay, it'll pass. Okay. Who knows why they spoke to me this way? What do I know? You see, it's different, you know? You see, it's like, oh, it, it's not gonna carry on in your body mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get irritated for a little bit, and then you're over the irritation. Okay, so what? This body mind can get irritated, and yeah, in time, you're more and more comfortable with that new direction, and there is magic in the air. You see, there is synchronicity. the universe will recompense you. We're not doing it in order to get recompense, but the universe will respond to you. Say, okay, yes, this is the right direction. And the way the universe tells you it's the right direction is in the experience of happiness and well-being. Ah, that was good. That was nice. I'm feeling good. Mm, I'm feeling good. I'm okay. You know. Oh wow, you didn't see what they did to you. Oh yeah, but it's okay. You see, you're feeling good. That's the because anything that we do in life is about the experience of peace and happiness, fulfillment, and so these are opportunities we're presented with. Life is where the understanding gets tested and stabilized and blooms. And the perfume of the blooming of wisdom is in life, not in the meditation room, not in satsang. Of course, satsang is lovely too. But...
Thank you.
Okay, nice to see you.
You too. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, Sudha.
Thank
Yes.
you for the wonderful meditation and the conversation. But I'm a little bit confused about identification. You know, I'm way too familiar with getting absorbed in the me story and suffering, all that. I've seen it happen and happen. But then at the same time, this is my current understanding. Like I feel or I know, I understand that the way I make sense of things or when things are just happening, I have this body mind and I have the opportunity to engage in a very non-resistance way of living with it. And so when we talk about identification, somehow I think a week or so back I had this conversation. I felt like it's my understanding that there's the only entity in this whole experiential scenario who has the choice, fundamental choice to make anything is consciousness. So correct me if if that is the case, and even this ignorance is the kind of a game that consciousness is choosing to play, who is then using a higher intelligence to avoid suffering is what I'm not able to. This is more, I won't call it a purely intellectual question. It's more like this understanding that it is happening. Like, so the moment I realize identification is going on, it's like, oh, it's because I'm thinking this limited thing. This whole thing is going on. Is a way for me to remove the suffering body mind, or at least pause the suffering from happening. That's how I've been understanding this. And as I know that more and more, and if I have to, for lack of a better word, because you use the technique, I tell myself, I'm just going, what will consciousness do? Just because everything is consciousness that's doing, right? Whatever I know is like, it's to be pure allowing. So don't resist, be allowed, let everything to happen is the way I've been trying to kind of live this way, live the understanding. So I want to make sure my understanding is right.
Mm.
And who is identifying? And if it is just a game being played by consciousness, Is my understanding there wrong?
If your understanding is that identification is a game that consciousness is playing and that you are this consciousness, then that's the end of the suffering.
Mm-hmm.
You can, if you knowingly are
Mm-hmm.
choosing to play the game of suffering, the knowingness is the end of suffering. You're choosing the game, you're choosing identification knowingly, you say. But
I don't know when I'm actually choosing, but I know if there is suffering, it is the misunderstanding. Somewhere the choice has been made, is what I know.
yeah, if you're understanding about the process of suffering, meaning the process of identification with, consciousness playing that game, if your understanding is clear about that,
Mm-hmm.
why would you still choose identification? You
You know,
wouldn't.
to enjoy this name and form, and
If you can enjoy the name and form, we're not talking about enjoyment. We're talking about identification.
suffering.
We're talking about identification. I'm enjoying right now this conversation. So I'm enjoying name and form. You could say Namarupa. Yes, of course.
Can we enjoy? Maybe this is connected to this. Maybe I think you use this word, the story, tribe, and everything. Even for me to enjoy my own family, my children, this name and form is needed. And so I'm thinking, to enjoy all the love that is there to experience, to enjoy all the beauty there is there to experience. The
But you don't need
role of being.
You don't need
You
identification.
don't need identification?
No. Why would you? You know your daughter or your son is your daughter or your son. You know you love them. You know they love you.
Yeah.
You know that they need, I don't know, whatever, and so you're tending to that. And I take care of my car. I'm not identified with my car.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Tires, whatever. More or less, I'm not like some people take better care of their cars. Okay, well. So yeah, no, you can relate with family, coworkers at work, your partner, with your friends, with that identification.
So what does identification mean? Maybe that's where I'm missing. To me, identification is thinking that I am followed by anything. If I thought I am woman, I am mother, I am anything, employee, I am the enjoyer of this beauty, that's identification. So I thought the consciousness, which is nameless, formless, needs this name and form in the object world to enjoy is my thinking, understanding.
You perceive the body mind. You perceive thoughts.
Yes.
You are the enjoyer, yes, because consciousness is the enjoyer. Consciousness is always enjoying. It's sometimes it's jumping up and down. Sometimes it's just like, So you perceive, you experience the world, body, mind.
Yes.
But identification refers to I am the body, mind, or I am this, or I am that. That's identification, as opposed to I am everything and nothing. You see, so if I am this and not that, that's identification. But if I am neither this nor that, neither this nor that, that's not identification. Or I am everything, that's not identification. Because if you are everything, there is nothing else. It's just everything. So being everything is like being nothing, you see. Identification is I am this and not that. So if in your experience, you experience I am this and not that, then you need to inquire into that. What makes it that you are Suda and not the mountain?
I think I'm giving importance to this body mind as human being, and hence think I'm Sudha and not a name given to me,
Well,
and think I'm not the mountain. Yeah.
we agree that the body mind is not a mountain. There is a huge difference between the body mind and the mountain.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we agree with that. And we agree that the body mind is, wow, it's much more intricate and interesting than the mountain. I mean, but for a mountain climber, it's very different. A mountain climber, they think the mountain is, but anyways, in general, we
Yeah.
agree that the body mind is much more interesting than the mountain. But why would this lead to identification? Like I understand that, for example, a Maserati is much more interesting than my Honda, for example. You know, the technology, the computer science, the whole the shape of it, the cost of it, the pizzazz of it. But does this lead necessarily to identification?
No, there's something about the way this body mind system helps me or engages in a way in experience, in all my experiences, like the perception, thoughts, the images and everything, they play a bigger role. And there's a certain level of, lack of a better word, there's a level of intimacy and association, either biologically or culturally given to me to think.
I agree. I agree with all of that. Like it's like in my house, I love the cooking in the kitchen. So for me, the kitchen, the stove, the pantry, all the things in the kitchen, the instrument that the machines that I use and so are wonderful. But can the kitchen exist without the rest of the house?
No.
I mean, there is also, I mean, there is also all the other rooms and the doors and the window. I mean, the whole thing. There's the roof. So yes, I agree with you about the body mind. But okay, it's fantastic. The body mind. I mean, here we are. Is via this body mind we're having this conversation. There is this communication, this movement, the shapes, the colors, the sounds. You see, but it doesn't exist in a vacuum. There's also the entire universe at play. In fact,
Agreed.
the body and the entire universe are integral. It's an integral dance. And of course, via our eyes, we don't see the intricacy of the interconnection, but we know via a deeper understanding that yes, there is an intimate interconnection. So I agree with you that the body mind is quite an instrument, much more sophisticated and rich and entertaining and amusing and fun than a hunk of concrete or than a bush, even if it's a rose bush, although I love rose bushes. But again, having agreed on that, both agreeing on that, what I'm proposing is that, okay, fine, but this does not in any way refer to identification. Although we're agreeing, we're both on the same bandwidth here concerning your statements about the body mind. I've had the same feeling as you. But this does not lead to identification. I can experience this instrument, use this instrument, this very intricate instrument.
Agreed.
As needed and much more often than I use my bicycle, my car, or my hiking boots. Yes, but this does not mean identification. Identification is the statement, the belief, the statement and the belief that I am fill in the blank. I am this and not that. I am this and not that.
Yeah.
So I am this and that. Okay, that's cool. But I am this and not that. I am this because this is very special and not that because that is less special. That's, I mean, it's a choice we
It's
make. It's a choice we make. We make the choice of
who is making the choice is the question. When you say it's the choice I make, like
always,
is it
it is consciousness play. It's always
exactly.
yes, yes. And it is consciousness who also is having these conversations about itself and and saying, aha, nice game I'm playing.
So if the understanding is deep that this is all the Leela and game happening, even when traumatic situation happens, there's a certain stability in this body mind and understanding this is just happening, and there is not really a psychological suffering that used to happen when this understanding wasn't there. Is my so it is if there is only one doer and one enjoyer, the same person is the sufferer, right? Also, we like, because there seems to be so much all the time, like when there's beautiful thing, celebration, we want to give credit to consciousness, but not suffering, is what I'm trying to get at here.
When you take a look at the suffering and you're looking for the sufferer, you find that the sufferer is a belief in the sufferer. So
Agreed.
suffering is suffering is a belief in suffering.
Agreed. Belief in separation is the cause of suffering. That I've separately investigated. Belief in a separate existence of something called me causes suffering. That part is, I've gone down that path. And then I really look for the reality of the me. There is nothing like a me there, separate from the consciousness.
Right. So suffering is a belief.
Agreed.
You would say, is consciousness playing the game of believing in suffering? Yes. Because a belief appears, I mean, it appears within consciousness, and it appears at zero distance from consciousness, and its reality is consciousness. So yes, the belief in suffering is consciousness believing in suffering. It's a belief. And so the experience, the reality of this belief is consciousness. And consciousness does not suffer because consciousness is formless, is noumenal. So what is it that suffers?
Yes.
Nothing and no one. Okay, all right, wait a minute. I am not just making a blank statement here saying there is no sufferer, there's no suffering. No, I'm deeper in the conversation. I agree that there is the impression of suffering is real and we should address it and explore it, okay? But in the end, we arrive to, if we continue the inquiry, we arrive to, well, in fact, the reality of suffering is consciousness. Consciousness does not suffer. So what are we talking about?
It is exactly, if it's just water or it's just green, it's just the variations and the activity that's showing. And as long as there is no attachment that I am suffering.
Not only there is no attachment, I am suffering, there is no attachment.
Suffering in period.
I am somebody or something.
Something, yeah.
Not there isn't the impression that I am this or I am this and not that. In the absence of I am this and not that, in the absence of that, there's just amness, because amness is undeniable. And amness is noumenal.
Okay.
It's noumenal. It's not an entity. It's not an object. It's noumenal. There's no suffering when you come to amness. There is suffering when you come to I am somebody. There's somebody.
Yes.
I am somebody and not that. I am this, but not that. That's already the impression of suffering right there, right from the impression or the belief in I am this and not that, which we refer to as separation, is suffering. Because the potential of limitation is already there. It's built in into that belief, you see. So, but when we were inquiring into the reality or the truth of I am this and not that, and we see that that is just a conceptual option, choice that is completely optional, and it's just out of thin air. So it doesn't have like any reality as such, doesn't have any absolute aspect to it. So therefore, the I am this and not that collapses, and the collapse in the collapse of the belief in I am this and not that, what remains is being. And experientially and factually, in the reality of this moment, what remains is being, this transparent, aware beingness. And there is no suffering at that level. So then at that moment, there is a realization of what are we talking about? There is a collapse of the entire realm, the relative realm of this versus that, and the me and not me, having and missing and incompleteness and sense of lack. When we arrive to that understanding, then we say, well, this presence, aware presence, this transparent, invisible presence, which I am, which is alive right now in this moment, which is a reality which is right now and perceives right now and knows that it is nominal. There is no suffering at that level. And at that moment, from that perspective, it's end of game when it comes to the storyline of suffering. I'm not saying that it may not arise the next moment. I'm talking in this
at that moment, yes.
So whenever we leave our understanding and we proceed towards, oh, well, I am this and then not that, I am the body mind, I must do this. Of course, I am not denying that we need to tend to so many things in the world, in the life, but I'm talking about identification. As soon as we say, no, I am this, and start to feel that I am this. This is an invitation once again to take a look, wait a minute, this feeling is appearing to you. The feeling, the belief, whatever you call it, that is appearing to you, you being this invisible aware presence. So the invitation is renewed again and again by consciousness. It's always consciousness inviting you. Hey, taps you on the shoulder. Hey, Sudha. Okay, you're perceiving all this. You see this feeling that you're feeling and this angst and this urgency that you're feeling. That's appearing to you, you being this invisible aware presence. It's always going to tap you on the shoulder. Notice this tap. Honor this tap. So we invite the body and the mind to rest. Rest in being, rest as being. Rest in presence, rest in awareness, rest as awareness. Rest as presence, because presence, awareness is restful.
Thank you.
Okay, Sudha, nice talking to you. Yes. Any questions?
Hello, Magdi.
Hello, Holger.
I just want to share something. I'm at a home. I'm just where I, once in a while, I do dog sitting. I care for the owner's dogs. And from here, I also participated several times in satsangs. And I always had problems because the bar stool is very uncomfortable and the sofa is too soft. No, but seriously, it was a little thing. And today is the first time after maybe 2 years or something in this one house that I was sitting in one of the chairs at the fireplace. And it's so comfortable. And this is just a representation of my whole life in a way. I always did things. I was too occupied to really see what's available. It's just fascinating. I mean, it's really, that's how it feels right now to me.
Yeah.
Shooting myself in my own foot through something I wasn't aware of.
You know, when the clouds part even a little bit, then there is the sky or the sunshine through.
Mhm.
It parts when it parts. We are this availability. We are not a storyline in time and space.
Yes.
We are this ordinary, extraordinary awareness. And it just needs a little parting in the clouds.
Yeah.
You see the sky, and then in an instant, you know the immensity of the sky. The rest, who cares?
Yeah. Thank you, Meg. There's just so much gratitude here. It's so amazing, this, and even just calling it amazing becomes boring, but it's just beyond words. And fascinating, so fascinating. It's always there. It's always, it cannot not be.
Yes. It is that which is and cannot not be. Yes.
Yeah. What's next?
This. Always this.
Yes, thank you. And I just wanted to say hello to my friend Goli. She's a very dear friend of mine.
Ah, okay. Hello, Goli.
Thank you for inviting me, Holgen. It's really a pleasure being here. Your meditation was amazing. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Nice.
And here is so peaceful.
Beautiful.
Hey, Magdi.
Hey, Mark, where are you? Yes.
Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Howdy.
Hi.
Good. Oh, what's rattling around for me, it's not painful, but it's what's rattling around. Something Francis said quite a while ago, and I don't remember all the words of it, but he was answering someone, and I think the inquiry was about being in harmony with others versus your own freedom, something along those lines. And he said something to the effect that that's where you draw the line, kind of, as if you're in company that somehow they're restricting your freedom. And maybe is that something you'd like to speak about a little? Is there, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm looking for I'm playing with the balance point on that within a couple of different groups.
Yeah. It's very important not to compromise your freedom, because your freedom is God's freedom. Your freedom is universal freedom, is the universal freedom. It's not a personal freedom. So to be true to yourself, to be true to your understanding. And of course, your understanding is very important. Your understanding about yourself, about life, about reality, because your understanding of yourself is your understanding about freedom. And, ultimately, behind all the layers, behind all the identification, behind all the veils, behind all the beliefs, you are this awareness. You are this freedom. And you cannot compromise that once you arrive to the understanding about your true self, not the personal freedom, but the freedom of consciousness. There is an inner sense of when you are violating that or about to violate that. It's not, it's an inner, and so you have to be true to that inner
intuition.
Inner intuition. See? And there is, once the understanding about the true self, about this aware presence is established, there is a certainty that comes with it. It's not like a personal, I'm holding on to something, but somehow it comes en masse. It comes in its fullness.
There are, I'm observing lately, kind of broadly observing that there are so many groups, religions, etc., that have this very restricted, to me, confining kinds of views or activities. So I've had to make this decision most recently about separating myself, not in a angry way at all, but in the freedom, choosing my own freedom, rather than choosing a very, a 2,500-year-old traditional kind of thing that's probably worked really well for a lot of people. Maybe there are, I don't know, this could be off into Jungian archetypes or something. I don't want to go down that, but yeah, I'm just noticing that, and I'm working with that, and I guess it's a new exploration for understanding more about our freedom.
Whenever you are choosing freedom, you are making the right choice. As long as it's not like a freedom to serve the person, you see, no person behind the scene, just freedom choosing itself. Whenever you're choosing freedom for freedom's sake, because you have to honor freedom, you're choosing God, you're choosing consciousness, you're choosing happiness. Freedom and happiness, they go hand in hand. Freedom and peace. There is no peace when there is no freedom. So whenever you're choosing those universal attributes, not to serve a person behind the scene, but for their own sake, for everybody's sake, for the universal sake, you're making the right choice, always, always. Doesn't matter, 25,000-year tradition means nothing, It's not about tradition. Wisdom is in this moment. You are the sage, you are that wisdom. You are that wisdom. You, this awareness, this consciousness is it. It's not 2,500 years old tradition of this or that. whatever it is, these traditions served whatever function they served. Who cares? You see, we are interested in peace, freedom, love, happiness. And it's never personal. It's always, boom, universal. That's your choice. That's your choice you're making. That's the path you're walking. And that's the right path to walk. Okay.
Thank you, Magdi. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, very lovely to be with you all. Thank you for your friendship, for your love, and for being together. Uli, nice to see you and nice to meet you, Uli. Yes, beautiful. Yes, we are good friends online. Holger and Mark and Goli. Yes, Goli. Am I pronouncing it right? Yes, Goli. Nice to meet you, Goli. Yes. Okay.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vice, hello Vice. Sudha, oui, Sudha.
Thank you.
Yes. Masiman, hello Masiman. Yes, lovely. Ellen, Anisha, oui, Anisha.
Thank you.
Renate, and Joanna, and my sweet Tara. Thank you all. Okay.
Thank you.